Welcome to NBAF Reimagined, where every week we bring you some of the most compelling movers and shakers within Atlanta's art scene. Thank you for tuning in to NBAF Reimagined. Alright, so my name is Okeeba Jubalo. I am the Executive Creative Director of the Atlanta Fine Art Exhibition. We started roughly about a year ago. We partnered with NBAF and we had this amazing exhibition at September Gray Fine Art Gallery. And it was pretty much just giving you a taste of what Atlanta has to offer. And we had some amazing artists. And hands down, I can say that Atlanta has the most diverse and amazing group of artists that I've ever seen, excluding no other city, no other country. And in starting the Atlanta exhibition, it was primarily looking at how do we get this amazing group into the forefront, instead of just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different artists who, pretty much have been in the forefront of Atlanta's art scene. How do we diversify that group and expand on, showing the public who's really here? So that's what the Atlanta Fine Art Exhibition is about. It's about introducing, the public and the world to the group who you should know about. But for whatever the reason is, sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's just not knowing the right person, sometimes it's just not being in the right place. However, the talent that's here, is amazing. So that's what the Atlanta Fine Art Exhibition is. And, going into a year later, over, let's say roughly about the last 12 months, we partnered with the DC Jazz Festival. And that was an amazing opportunity because, like Atlanta, DC is pretty much struggling with, I say the arts part of it, black arts, is struggling with gentrification. And when you look at, the work reflecting who's in the community, that's going to be a problem. Like if you're a black artist and you're true to your narrative and you're true to what it is that, that really, really means something to you, it's hard for you to be able to monetize that process if your supporting cast does not look like you. So when your supporting cast doesn't look like you, then how can you really expect for you to get the respect and the support that you need? So in going to Washington, D.C. for the DC Jazz Festival, there was like an amazing amount of excitement about the work, about the artists, and being able to infuse that into the Jazz Festival there, which was amazing. The lineup, the amount of support, it was amazing. So being able to bring Atlanta to DC, that just added an amazing amount, like just this amount of soul into the festival. In August, we went to Las Vegas and we partnered with Jewel, and it's an amazing development, just grade A. Las Vegas has this really casino-driven culture, and the fighting culture is fighting. What I mean, you get your boxing and your MMA from the UFC and these different things. So it has that kind of culture. But outside of Vegas, you have a number of people who want to have access to what we have here in Atlanta, and it's one of those things where they have to rely on California or Phoenix or some of the surrounding areas to get their arts, but they don't have what we have. So it's one of those things where, in understanding the amount of impact that we have in going into these other regions, these other markets, that's when it started to really, really catch steam. So we partnered with the Aviation Community Cultural Center. Hopefully I said that right. But it's a beautiful space, beautiful space. And this time, last year we showed, I think last year we had maybe like 11 artists in the first exhibition. And this time we're going deep and wide on this one. You know what I'm saying? We are going deep and wide. And the thing is, this isn't even like all of what Atlanta has to offer. You know what I'm saying? We have well over 30 to 40 different artists that we're featuring in this exhibition on February the 15th. And this isn't all of what Atlanta has to offer. And a big part of what I'm looking at is saying that, okay, we have the power, we have the infrastructure, we have what we need in order for us to replace Art Basel. And I know that's a bold thing because Art Basel, has roughly, let's say, 50 years worth of traction in front of us. But what they don't have is the soul of Atlanta, and they don't have Okeeba Jubalo. They don't have those two things. So when you combine those two things, and we combine them with resources, we combine them with the intent of creating a fertile scene for our artists here, you know what I'm saying, a fertile financial scene for our artists here, then it turns into this whole different thing. And that's pretty much what it's about. It's pretty much saying, okay, I can appreciate what other cities have to offer, but honestly, there's no excuse for us not turning Atlanta into what we need it to be. We have the artists here, we have the infrastructure here, you know what I'm saying? And that just means we have to combine leadership with resources. And then once we go from there, we airborne, so that's what it is. Okay, so a big part of my business model is being able to work with real estate developers and the government officials in order to really spike the nerve of this entire movement. Because when we look at these real estate developers, regardless of where they are, if they're in downtown Atlanta, if they're in the south side of Atlanta, regardless of where they are, if we look at the real estate developers, as you're building, you need things on your wall, right? And you have a budget for that. So my thing is, okay, we're going to provide the work that's needed in order to bring your walls to life. And with your budget, because you're going to spend the money on something anyway, you know what I'm saying? So why not support the local talent that's here that helps to move the economy forward locally? You know what I mean? So that's a big part of what we're putting together behind the scenes, saying, okay, we're going to partner with these real estate developers. And when we look at the amount of talent that's here, there's no excuse. And also when we look at the local government, we look at the elected officials that's here, we need your support. And we need your support more than just what's beneficial for you. We need this thing to be beneficial for us because there are tax dollars that's being pulled from everywhere in order to support the arts, but yet we don't have what we really need. We do not have the parts and pieces that we need. So what I'm doing is I'm making a call out to a number of different political figures throughout Atlanta and saying, look, we need your support. Because if you don't support us, we will not support you. Period. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the amount of creativity that we have, we can be very creative in not supporting you. And we can be very creative in supporting you. You know what I mean? So we need your support. Because it's one of those things where the amount of work that we have in these studios and the amount of work that we have within us, it can be monetized in so many different ways. And it's such a amazing opportunity for us to take this Atlanta to the next level. It's a great opportunity for us to take Atlanta to the next level. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, so the event is actually on February the 15th, 2020. So we need you to go ahead and RSVP right now, because we're turning the RSVP off on February the 8th. You will not be able to RSVP after that date. You know what I mean? So make sure you're in the building, and make sure you come prepared to purchase artwork, and not just, you know what I'm saying, not just have a good time, you know, for the date night and that whole deal. Come prepared to purchase, even if you have to pool your resources and, you know, 2-3 of your homegirls or homeboys, y'all decide to create, you know, a collector's fund, and then from that point, you just go ahead and buy one piece and you rotate the piece out. Do whatever you need to do, but we definitely want you to come out and actually purchase the artwork, because that's super important. Thank you to NBAF for just a tremendous amount of support, you know what I mean? Because in order for artists and curators and creatives to move their work to the next level, you have to have financial support and infrastructure support. And that's what it's about, you know what I mean? Being able to get the support and move it to the next level. That's what we're doing.